allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
To support.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, is Sarah and Deanna, I believe, from the same year ago. Okay. You're on.
We are from Tamarack District Library. I am the director, and this is Sarah. She is the school representative, and because she's from Winfield, she came today for the meeting. I have some papers, and she has some papers to hand out, but we did not expect quite so many people, so we don't have one for everyone. So if you would like one, please raise your hand, and Sarah will pass out our flyer. Sorry, we thought we had enough, but I do have one for each of you. So we just wanted to give you guys an annual update. Our fiscal year is from July 1st to June 30th, and so it has wrapped up. So this is our fiscal report for 2021-2022. We had 3,400 registered users this last year, with over 19,000 visits to the library. We ran 90 different programs this year and had over 13,000 individuals that attended those programs. And 58,000 plus circulation of items in the library. Some additions and improvements that we made to the library this last year: we bought 5 new computers to update our stack. We got a server. We purchased a brand new self-checkout machine. Our fire suppression system wasn't up to code anymore, so we updated that so it would be code. We got new lights, LED light upgrades in the library. We repainted. We had some damage in the basement due to a sump pump that failed, and so we replaced and fixed that damage. We replaced and extended our exterior fence, and then we added a new giving tree so people could come in and donate books to the library. So those are some of the additions to the library this year. And then part of library's expectations is to have a strategic plan, and it's a 5-year plan, and this year was the year that we needed to do that. So we did our 5-year plan, and with that we are planning to work with the schools closely, hopefully, and partner with them a little bit more, do some more teen and tween programming and getting some of those in, because we noticed that that was something that was lacking in the community. So we're gonna improve that hopefully and strengthen it. Along with that, we have a bookmobile that we're currently working towards, so that we can get items out to some of the outer areas for individuals who might not be able to get into the Lakeview Township, Lakeview Town. We will bring the books to them at locations. And then on our grounds, we want to build a pavilion. We've rented some tents over the years to have programs outside, and so we would like to build a pavilion so that we don't have to rent tents anymore. So that is what happened to this last year. Does anyone have any questions for us?
I guess not.
Wonderful.
Thank you for being there, though. I appreciate it myself.
Thank you. Thank you for your time today. We appreciate it.
Sure.
And the vote box out here.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
September 8th, 2022. Meeting called to order and open with the pledge by Supervisor Phyllis Larson. September 8th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Members present: Supervisor Phyllis Larson, Clerk Colleen Stebbins, Treasurer Kathy Killinger, Trustee John Black, and Trustee Steve Cole. Special guest gentleman from A&R Pipeline with information about the Winfield Township Storage Field Abandonment Project. Approval of the agenda, motion by Kathy Killinger, seconded by Steve Cole to approve the agenda. Voice vote, motion passed. Clerk's report, approved as read. Treasurer's report, Fire Department, $95,071.18. General checking, $183,443.82. Tax account, $120,456.0. ARPA amount account, $288,140.46. For a total of $687,014.46. Approved as reported. Treasurer Kathy Killinger and Clerk Colleen Stebbins set up a new account for building fund for a new township hall. Zoning Administrator Dave Kelsey reported 3 permits for August. Planning Commission, John Black reported they had election of officers at their August 22nd, 2022 meeting. Chairman Chris Rader, Vice Chairman Ken Cool, Secretary Ken Fisk. 5 members attended the zoning and planning training in Mount Pleasant and received good information. Cemetery, painting the metal fence, John to see about someone. New business, stipulation and order to dismiss. I, Phyllis Larson, move to authorize our attorney to enter a stipulated order with Andrew Marin joint that dismisses his lawsuit against the township without fees, cost, or relief granted to any party. Seconded by Colleen Stebbins. Roll call, Kathy Killinger, yes. John Black, yes. Steve Cole, yes. Colleen Stebbins, yes. Phyllis Larson, yes. Motion passed. Steering Committee. Motion by Colleen Stebbins, seconded by Steve Cole to appoint Drew Molitor, George Hubbard, Doug Johnson, Pam Larson, and Steve Cole to the Building Steering Committee. Voice vote, motion passed. Payment of bills. Motion by Steve Cole, seconded by John Black to pay check number 4,468 through check numbers 4,490 plus IRS deposit of $1,677.00 for a total of $17,268. Roll call, John Black, yes. Steve Cole, yes. Colleen Stebbins, yes. Phyllis Larson, yes. Kathy Killinger, yes. Motion passed. Board comments. Kathy Killinger, at Hall, September 14th, 2022, for collecting taxes, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Motion by John Black, seconded by Steve Cole, for Kathy Killinger to go to Mount Pleasant for training October 19th, 2022, at a cost of $130. Roll call, Colleen Stebbins, yes. Phyllis Larson, yes. Kathy Killinger, yes. John Black, yes. Steve Cole, yes. Motion passed. John Black, talked with John Sherman about New Hall. Steve Cole, asked if anyone heard about the $250,000 he had asked Pat Outman about. Colleen Stebbins, received 2 emails from Eagle about violation at Indian Lake. No permit for a seawall. Sent copies of both letters to Ken Poole and Dave Kelsey. Phyllis Larson, questioning if the township should get a post office box for mail address to the township hall. Public comments opened at 7:45 p.m., closed at 8:13 p.m. Appointments, motion by John Black, seconded by Steve Cole to appoint Kathy Koch and Dennis Arnold to the Building Steering Committee. Voice vote, motion passed. Adjourn, motion by Steve Cole. Motion by Colleen Stebbins, seconded by Steve Cole to adjourn at 8:18 p.m. Voice vote, motion passed. Respectfully, Colleen Stebbins, Winfield Township Clerk. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, the minutes will stand approved as read. Treasurer's report.
Building fund, $150,646.93. ARPA fund, $238,143.07. Capital improvement fund, $95,087.59. General checking, $218,336.63. Tax account, $13,225.17. for a total of $497,321.09 with $76.99 interest. And I just want to let you all know, on 8/11, the report showed a balance that included $50,000 from Montcalm County before we obtained board approval to open the building account. And also $22,000 from a deposit that was for taxes, and so it needed to be returned to tax. That made that account look inflated. We paid about $62,000 in bills, resulting in a 9/8/22 report of $183,000 from an 8/11 balance of $313,404. That's just to update you on why those look so strange. Thanks.
Are there any questions for Kathy? If not, the treasurer's report will stand approved as read. So at this time, if you can have a report from the fire department?
Sure. So our contract here with Winfield Township runs July to July, so at the end of July was the end of the 5th year. We're running very close to the amount of runs that we projected. We're probably a little bit ahead of that, but it's not anything crazy. So I think we came out close when we guessed on that. Continue to have a lot of weight in place with Howard City and Morley for all of Winfield Township. So I think from that perspective, things are going well. Had a couple of runs recently in Indian Lake in the last week, 10 days, back-to-back calls in the same street, so that was kind of unusual, but I think it's going well. If you have any questions for me, I'm certainly trying to answer those.
Are there any questions for Pat?
Okay,
Thank you, Pat.
thank you.
Zoning.
And for the month of September, there was a permit for a 40 by 60 pole barn at 11530 Amble Road. There's two lot line adjustments, 8912 West Swanee Trail and 8920 West Swanee. And what it was, there was a lot in between both of them. Each neighbor bought half of it, and they made their lots a little bit larger than what it was. And 14139 Mita Drive, they got a permit to tear down a home and build a new one at 14360 Diener Garage. And on Tamarack Road, they got a permit for a home. And that's it. Other than if there's any blight issues, to my understanding, the people are supposed to contact the sheriff's department. I don't know if it's a dispatch, not the emergency number, and contact them, and they're supposedly going to enforce blight in Montcalm County. So,
It doesn't have to go through you?
not according to what they've been saying, so.
Okay.
I have a pile of them I'm gonna take in there possibly tomorrow. Some things that just continue on, or not at this township, but people keep paying the fine and keep the blight there. You know, we don't want the money, we want it cleaned up, so what we want, so. I would think that's what everybody wants, so.
Okay.
That's it.
Are there any questions for Dave? Thank you, Dave. Do we have anything for Park or Cemetery? Can't remember anything. Roads? We got 2 bills, so we're paid done this month.
Which two contracts were they?
In your fat.
Back.
Jump in the bag.
We received any likes being.
Oh, okay. Thank you. We got the money for everything. Oh, I guess I can do it. Okay. You know how much it was?
58 something. It's the same.
Yeah, but they're different contracts. This and the parking lot. Yeah, just a minute. Oh, yeah, I can give you the number. Okay, then, we have a new committee, and that was the steering committee. So I will read the minutes. I have the agenda and the minutes, and then we'll hear from Dennis and Steve. On Wednesday, September 14th, 2022 at 7 p.m., welcome, introductions, update member roster / phone, email. Task as directed. Consider building location. B, consider advantages and disadvantages for each site. C, do we have up-to-date surveys? D, what about soil drainage for septic? E, well water placement. F, health department records. Can we build on either or both sites? G, should we visit other halls for information? H, explore types of buildings such as stick-built, metal frame, and pole barn. I can contact the electric company. J, what is the setback requirement? K, what size building do we need? Next, so the minutes for that meeting is members present: George Hubbard, Dennis Arnold, Drew Molitor, Pam Larson, Kathy Kopp, Doug Johnson, and Steve Cole. The vote for the chair: Doug Johnson nominated George Hubbard, Dennis Arnold seconded. Vote for co-chair: Pam nominated Dennis Arnold, and Steve Cole seconded. Discussion for which location we should build a building, advantages and disadvantage. M46, advantages. Existing parking lot, M46 road frontage, already have septic and well add-on. Hall rental accessibility. Disadvantages: need new septic and well. 46 road frontage, noise. Safety for voters on M46. Size of property, can only build a 30 by 60 with a question mark. Wires are low on property. We'll need a bigger parking lot. We'll have to pay to have building removed. 2nd Street, or Elm. Advantages: multiple entrances possible. Larger property. Off of 46 for noise safety. Next to the park. Disadvantages: vandalism possibilities. Contamination needs to be cleared. We'll need new septic and well. We'll need new parking lot. Elm Street is still showing on register of deeds. Would it be possible to have more road frontage if the road was actually there? We need to contact the road commission about this. We possibly have current surveys, but ordering surveys for both properties. Drew Molitor is handling this. Discuss septic well perk test. Pam Larson will contact the health department to set up and discuss possibilities of both properties. Does the state have contamination paperwork to clear the property? Doug feels the township was given clean bill of health paperwork. Discussion about 2nd Elm should drain to 12-inch clay tile that runs through the property. 2nd/Elm parcels IDs, but I don't need to read those. Drew is contacting surveyors to get estimates for surveys on their properties. Tingley and Association, Global Land Solutions. Setback requirements for the new building is 60 feet from property lines and center road. If we build at M46 location, would neighbors be willing to sell some property? George Hubbard will contact other townships who have recently built new halls and discuss/visit with them. Douglas and Pearson were discussed. George Hubbard will contact board to see if we can have overview of both properties that we can have. Our next meeting is Wednesday, 9/28 at 7 p.m. Meet at the 2nd/Elm location at 7 p.m. September 28th, meet at the park, call to order, explain about where the property lines are located. 2, move to the Township Hall. A, approve minutes from the 9/14/22 meeting. Reports from members: Drew Molitor survey, Pam Larson Health Department, George Hubbard visits of other township halls, Dennis Arnold maps and road commission. Share several floor plan examples. Next up for our committee. Report at the October 13th, 2022 Township Board meeting, Dennis Arnold and 2 Steve Cole. Other discussion items. Next meeting date and adjourn. The minutes are, members present, George Hubbard, Dennis Arnold, Drew Molitor, Pam Larson, Kathy Popp, Doug Johnson, Steve Cole. We met at the Amble location to look at the property to get an idea of what that looks like. Moved to the hall and opened the meeting at 7:20 p.m. Steve approved the minutes from the 9/14/2022 meeting. Doug seconded. Drew reported on the status of surveys. Global Land Surveys will do the survey next week. Feels the points are all still there. He will do for little to no charge. Pam reported that she spoke to the health department, but the man she needs to talk to is on vacation and will call her in the next couple of days. We aren't sure what purpose it is all play in that area. Bar bought in a hydro hole and found a pocket of sand to put in their septic/drain, so feel it may be over there also. We will get a quote from Larson Excavating and Powell's too, or we will have to possibly put in a pumping station or move to a different property altogether. Pam will file paperwork with the health department to have someone available when an excavator comes to dig the holes for the perk test. There is a cost to file this application, and George will talk with Phyllis about approving that cost. A motion was made by Doug and seconded by Drew that we build on the Elm Street location based on the perk test results, but talked about exploring other properties if needed. Members of the committee visited Douglas, Mount Palm, and Pearson Township halls. They feel that Pearson Hall is not a great option for us. The member of those halls that they took a tour with all feel that a kitchen is not needed, but perhaps counter, sink, and plugs would be sufficient. All said that a clerk and treasurer should share an office. Dennis reported on his findings from the road commission. Elm Street does continue down the east side of property, but has not been maintained. He will talk with them about making that a road and would they cover the cost. Would we need a cul-de-sac at the end, or can we just make into a driveway to go into the hall? There is also an easement on the west side of the property leading out to M46. Can that be a one-way drive or a two-way drive into a new hall? He will report with his findings of these matters. We shared rough floor plans for new halls and all agreed on a conference room facing the south as the best options. They will share drawings with the board at the next meeting. Discuss next steps. Test holes for perk test, Pam. Road for Elm and easement off 46, Dennis. What is the deadline on the $288,000? Get rough estimates on new building from architect Steve, Morton, Dennis DeWitt. Oh, I must not have had the second page.
In charge of that, isn't that what it's saying? Who was in charge of that?
No, it said they're each going to get rough estimates. But I guess I didn't get the second page, so Dennis, you'll have to fill in, I hope.
Where am I filling in?
The third page. The second page of the minutes. That was, luckily when I copied them off, I didn't get it all.
You got that one, Steve?
Let me look.
The 28th.
I've got exactly what she's got.
Yeah, that's what I've got. The 28th.
Well, I guess that's it.
Huh?
I guess that's it. Anyway, it was just suggested that at that point, they were just telling what y'all were gonna be doing
Right.
in the ensuing time, so I guess we're waiting to hear what you got to say.
How long you got?
Oh, let's see, how many minutes can we get?
For you that don't know me, I'm Dennis Arnold. But, yeah, George, Steve, and Pam, we went to 3 different townships, looked at them at the halls. And, like I say, Pearson Township Hall wasn't even compatible with what we need, because it's got a basement and stuff where we wouldn't have a basement. So we went over to Douglas, looked at theirs. Theirs was 40 by 60. And, it's kind of laid out as a T-shape, which makes it kind of inconvenience in a way, more maintenance for the roof because of the valleys. We went to Mount County, I mean. Theirs is a Morton barn that's 66 by 68. And so everything you do there, you're going down hallways to get to the conference room. they all had great big kitchens in them, in which they agreed if they ever done it again, they wouldn't put a kitchen in. They said it's a waste of time, 'cause you run them out, it's either catered or it's a dish to pass. So they said just put counters, sink, little refrigerator. But I went to Morton Buildings and, got just a rough estimate on what it would, cost for a barn, cause we come up with two different sizes. One was 60 by 60, the other one was 40 by 90, that way they're both roughly 3,600 square feet. And with Morton Building, there's about 10,000 difference between the two barns, they're about 247,000 apiece. But Morton only does the exterior and the insulation, but they would do the ceiling and walls if you wanted it in steel. But I said just do, just the rough, insulate it in the outside all done. So I got that. I got estimates for the perk test. I got one from the Badge Brothers for $750. I got one from Picture Perfect. His is donation, he's not gonna charge. And I got one from Larson Frenchy. $150 an hour or $300 total. I tried to get Howells, because they're the one that did Amble Bar. Talked to him on that. They had to go down 14 to 15 feet to hit the sand bed. So that cost $45,000 for Amble Bar to have their septic drain field put in. So that kind of gives you an idea over there, because Powell's and All Terrain Excavating said there is a sand bed that runs all the way past that property. So it's just, you gotta go down deeper to hit the sand bed, then you gotta fill it all back up, put your septic drain field in. I talked to Pat at the county, not this Pat, a different Pat, but talked to him on property, cause Doug Johnson thought where a second went through on the curve, he thought that was taken off the maps years ago. It doesn't. Second Street still separates the two properties, his property from the Amble property. As Elm comes down through, the county said that we wouldn't have to have a cul-de-sac, but we would have to pay for any roads we did. But we could go down and have that turn into a drive, into the property. There is a 33-foot right-of-way easement that runs down the whole west side of both properties. If we wanted to make that into a one-way drive into there, we could, but then again, we gotta do the expense of the drive. That one there, the county wouldn't plow because that would be a private drive to the property. The other one, the county would plow. Got any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
On the property over here, are they saying that, property is like that, this is Johnson, there's a road here, so you don't own property, is that road still
That's
a viable road?
according to the county, yes. Yeah. And where Doug said it was taken off years ago, but it's not.
I knew it wasn't.
So that's why I went over there to check, look at all the maps and everything.
Because what,
Because if we wanted, where Elm Second comes in, we wouldn't have to go down the whole east side of that. We could just come right there on Second and that, and end. So that would be less
that's only
cost.
33 feet, right?
Right,
It's not here.
right. Because we could make that as a driveway / road, because it's just coming in, turning into our property.
So the road frontage would technically be on the north side of the
Yes.
new
When
home.
you open up, when you extend Second Street, that would be the road frontage, then you turn.
See, that's the way I remember.
Well, that's what I'm learning.
I thought I remembered.
I think that's, like I say, the property, for all the paperwork that Doug brought the other back to the meeting, he's got it from the DEQ and from the DNR that, the property could build on. So the only thing we gotta do now is find out if we get it first.
There's some wells that's already done there.
They're saying the wells are on the Doug's front.
Remember, because all I know is that they did come in and build some wells to see.
On the paperwork, it says there was some test wells up. like I say, the only ones I've seen is on Doug's property. That's all I can go on that.
Did they get the survey done yet, or not?
I have not, I called and left a message. Yeah, cause I wanna get with the surveyors to have them, cause the county wants to make sure the road gets surveyed. Because if you look on the maps, the roads ain't where they belong, so it's kinda hard to go by, so he wants, when we get the property surveyed, he also wants the road surveyed.
Did you check with Chambers, people surveyed that?
Well, he was supposed to check with both places.
Cause they were the ones that done the survey when they purchased the property.
So he's gone, I couldn't get a hold of the, bring the thing that met me. Reports.
Do you have any questions for Dennis?
Oh, yeah, there's the county said if we do that and we put a parking lot in and everything, we can't just let it run off into the amble drain there. On the back side, on the south part of the property, right in the middle of it, there's what used to be the old creamery, had rocks and whatever there. So you can turn that into a holding pond for the water runoff. Then you can take that over and dump it in the amble drain. But you can't just have it run off and
You can't just let it, yeah, okay.
It don't sound like that'd be any major expenses though.
no, because it's already there, yep.
Right. Sounds like the road and building are the main things.
Yeah. But then, you know, like say with the design of the building, the two different designs, then if you guys kinda like that, then we could, John Sherman's already looked at it, he said he's willing to give us a bid for the whole thing. And I could give it a couple other people, cause you already got the bid for Morton's, cause like I say, they only do the outside of the insulation. So,
The company that I contacted, they haven't got back with me yet on a price, but they said that they would do the entire building. If we wanted them to, they would also do the parking lot and put in the well and